It's not very often that I lose any recordings, let alone a Steven and Friends recording, but I think I may have lost one tonight. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday. So, the good news, is that it was one Jackbox video. We were playing Mad vs. City. And the other good news is that it wasn't going that well. all things considered. We have used a few different methods of playing Jackbox online with everyone, because Jackbox, unlike some of the other games that we do, relies on a host. So someone has to host the game, and that game has to be broadcast to everyone else. And we've done it a few different ways over the years, and no matter what, you have to broadcast it to everyone, and there's a variety of ways to do that. We have used Discord, which works pretty well, but has a limit on the amount of people that can use it at one time. You can only have, I think, 10. And, we've got a pretty big group, and occasionally we have more than 10 people. We've used Mixer, which actually works impressively well. There's almost no latency on Mixer, but the downside to that is that there's no private option. There's no unlisted option, at least none that I could ever find. So you are public, and if you're going to stream for a while with 10 people watching, that starts to put you higher in the ranks. And in a game like Jackbox, it makes it kind of difficult, because at any point in your recording, people can join the audience and influence the outcome of the game, which is not really something that we want to happen. And then finally, the thing that we have been using is YouTube, because you can actually do unlisted streams on YouTube, so I can give everyone the link, and we can do it without having to worry about broadcasting to other people. The problem is, YouTube live streaming sucks. It really sucks. It's not very good. I mean, at least in what I've found. There's two options. There's normal latency and low latency. And we've been using low latency, and we still have a considerable amount of latency. Like, I'm talking at least 10 seconds, sometimes closer to 12 or 15. And some of these Jackbox games have like streaming modes where it will give you a lot of extra time to do your stuff. But historically, we haven't really had to use that, so tonight we didn't. And when we loaded up Mad vs. City and started to play it, we quickly realized that it was going to be a bit of a problem. We didn't really know how big of a problem, but it was going to be kind of a big problem. And by the time it came up for you to vote for who you were going to vote for, you normally have 15 seconds. In reality, you had 2. So it was not the best situation. So maybe it's actually good. Maybe it's a sign that the recording was messed up. It might actually, for what it's worth, it might be salvageable. But now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, maybe it's not worth salvaging. It's not the best thing we've ever made, and I feel like this about a lot of the Jackbox stuff. It is much better in person. Some of the games you have to play in person. They just don't work if you're not playing them in person. But all of them benefit from being physically in the same space. And while it might be a while before we have a full-blown ChefCon event to do something like these, in the meantime, the opportunity that presents itself to actually make these might be few and far between. And at the very least, we have to have less than 10 so we can do it on Discord again, because that actually, that worked pretty well. If you're curious how the recording got messed up, it's my fault. It's definitely my fault. I've got a lot of different things that I use to make everything work and record everything separately, so it can be edited later. And one of the programs I use on Mac is called Audio Hijack Pro. I love it. It's a must-have if you're doing any sort of content creation on Mac operating systems. It's really great because it allows you to capture individual programs, individual audio sources, and send them off to their own files that are already named. It's really, really great. The problem is, when I started the recording, I never ended it, and I forgot. I guess I've just had a lot on my mind. I forgot to end the recording, and when we were done with the recording, I just dragged those files or duplicates of those files into Dropbox and sent them off to Dan. But those files were never finalized, so they probably partially worked, but not fully. And then later, after we were done for the night, I realized I never stopped the recording. Then I stopped the recording, but I had long since closed Discord, which probably broke some stuff in the recording anyway. So, is it salvageable? It could be. Is it worth salvaging? In this case, maybe not. And just a reminder that we probably won't be able to do this with YouTube. I like the idea of an unlisted stream, but finding a service that allows you to do such a thing at a latency that doesn't completely suck is hard. And that's one area where I've got to give it to Mixer. I don't know if they'll be able to keep that up forever, but at least for right now, their latency is super, super low. And Discord is a great option, but if you have more than 10 people, it's not an option at all, and that's a problem as well. So I don't know. We'll figure something out, even if it means just only doing Jackbox when we have less than 10 people, and then otherwise saving it for real life, because God knows that we have some other games that we can play. And I think that this would be a good chance, now that we're in 2020, to take this opportunity to formally ask you guys again, what games would you like to see on Steven and Friends? Do you have something in mind that you'd like to see? Tell me below. Leave it in the comments if there's something that you think would be a good fit for our group. Bonus points if you tell me the maximum number of players, because there's a lot of games that cap out at 8, and occasionally that will be fine. But obviously if it allows you more than 8, that's real good, because we frequently have 10 or sometimes even 12 people. And finding games that support that many people is very difficult. So, 8 players is fine, but more is better. And bonus brownie points if you tell me how many players it supports. That would be really useful. And we'll take a look at that for the new year, because we have stuff that's on a pretty regular rotation that we do, but we're always willing to add new stuff. And we love doing Jackbox, but it might be better suited for trying to do in person. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?